Super Bowl 55 will have no shortage of star power this weekend in Tampa. Each of the 4 meetings between these two quarterbacks, regular and postseason, have been decided by 7 points or fewer. And the 18-year, 45-day age difference, the largest in NFL history. And this will be the first Super Bowl matchup featuring 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks from the 2 seasons prior. Big reason why everyone's anticipating a great matchup on CBS this Sunday. What's good, streaming people? Tommy Trahan here, joined by Rich Gannon, NFL analyst for CBS Sports. Rich, great to have you. Let's first start with the quarterback, since you're our quarterback. What are you looking out for as we get a rematch this season from Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady?
Well, Tommy, two of the best quarterbacks in the league this year, but they're very different. Let's start with the elder statesman, Tom Brady, 43 years of age. I mean, it's amazing what he's been able to accomplish this year, going from an organization where he had so much success for the better part of 2 decades to an organization with new players, new play callers, a new system, and it's just amazing how well he has played. He's elevated the play of everyone around him. And then, of course, Patrick Mahomes, I think he's the best quarterback in football right now. I think he has the best arm talent out there. I think his ability to extend and create plays is a big part of his success. And I think he's got some playmakers that can really stretch the field. You look at Tyreek Hill, what Tyreek Hill was able to do against the Buccaneers in Week 12. I think he had 269 yards receiving in that game. And I also think you look at, they have the best tight end in football in Travis Kelce. So to me, the Buccaneers are going to really have to play well defensively to keep the scoring and the explosive plays to a minimum.
So obviously the attention goes to the quarterbacks and then with the offenses. But on the other side, and I think you'll agree with me here, that the defenses have a chance to really shine. When you look at both Tampa Bay and Kansas City, what stands out to you and what type of highlights are you anticipating this weekend?
Well, I think if you can start with the Chiefs and you look at what happened a year ago, they struggled the first half of the season defensively, and then they really caught fire the second half of the season and carried that momentum right into the postseason. And Chris Jones is one of the best interior defensive linemen in football. Tyrann Mathieu is a playmaker on the back, and the corners have really played well in Kansas City. I mean, they've got some guys that can rush the passer and be really disruptive. And I think they've got a really good play caller in Steve Spagnuolo. On the other side of it, you look at the Buccaneers and the job that Todd Bowles has done. They've been a top 5 defense most of the season. And just about every major statistical category they have done well. And they've got some guys that can really create some havoc as well. Ndamukong Suh is a real difference maker inside along that defensive line. Then you look at Shaq Barrett, the most sacks since the start of 2019. He's got over 30 sacks. JPP has never lost a postseason game. 2 really good linebackers, Levante David and Devin White. And this is going to be a really good matchup. I think when you look at what happened in Week 12, the Buccaneers got embarrassed in that one in the first half, played better in the second half. They can't afford to give up the big plays against this Kansas City offense. That, to me, is the big challenge. I mean, getting around the quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, forcing him to get the ball out quickly, tackling well, and creating some negative plays, something that the Buccaneers have done a terrific job of so far in the postseason. That to me they've got 41 points off of turnovers in 3 playoff games, and to me that's going to be a big part of it. Can the Buccaneers generate some negative plays defensively?
And so to piggyback off that, when we hear teams play against Kansas City and that offense, we've seen Buffalo do it on occasion with the soft zone. Rich, what does that mean? And again, you mentioned the negative plays that needs to happen. Why don't you take us through what that exactly means if indeed we do see some of that on Sunday?
Well, if you go back to the Buffalo-Kansas City game during the regular season, Buffalo and talking to Sean McDermott and Leslie Frazier, they just didn't want to give up the big plays, and so they played soft coverage, and they allowed the Chiefs to rush for almost 250 yards in that regular season game. So, I mean, you got to kind of pick your poison. Andy Reid's a really good play caller. I think the key versus the Kansas City offense is the ability to be able to rush 4 and drop 7 into coverage. Mix up the coverages, but if you have to bring 5 and 6-man pressures to get to Patrick Mahomes, you're going to struggle. I mean, they've got too many players out there that can create some explosives, and you've got to be able to, as I said before, keep them to a minimum. So if you can rush 4 and get some pressure on Mahomes and keep him in the pocket where he belongs, set the edge, be disciplined with your rush lanes, be disciplined with your eyes, and not allow him to extend plays. It's the unscripted offense that really can cost you big against that Kansas City offense.
And on the flip side for the Kansas City defense, what's going to be the key for Tom Brady going up against TB12 here?
Well, I would just say, with Brady, he doesn't have great mobility. His change of direction skills aren't great. So if you can get around him and you can affect the timing and the rhythm. So much of what he does is timing and rhythm, anticipation, accuracy. Still has very good arm talent to push the ball down the field. You're gonna have to play some man coverage. You're gonna have to take away, obviously, Mike Evans and the big plays. But to me, can you get some pressure on Brady? He'll go down, and he is affected by the pressure more than Mahomes, because Mahomes obviously can escape the pressure. So to me, I think Kansas City's going to do a good job mixing up the coverages. You have to do everything you can to slow down Tom Brady. He's such an experienced guy. He's been in the league for so long. He's seen it all, but you have to do a good job disguising your intentions with a quarterback like Brady.
Who do you like on Sunday, Rich?
This is going to be a great game, Tommy. I really think the Chiefs will win it, but it'll come down to a field goal, in my opinion, in the final seconds. I think these two teams match up so well. We've got great quarterback play, great coaches, and defenses that have played well in the postseason. I'm going to take the Chiefs by a field goal.
All right, certainly anticipating a close game, a high-scoring game at Raymond James Stadium. Rich, before I let you go, we got to talk about the Raiders here. The season in Vegas, the future still a little bit uncertain in terms of what they need to do to improve and get to be a playoff team, potentially a Super Bowl contending team. What do you see as the situation with Derek Carr, John Gruden, and the rest of the Raiders as Raider Nation awaits this offseason?
Well, Tom, it's a great question. I would just tell you it's been a frustrating couple seasons for the Raiders. For the last two seasons, they've gotten themselves in a position after 9 or 10 games to be a playoff caliber team, and then they go on a stretch where they lose 5 or 6 games. So they've got to get more consistency in every area of the game. I think when you look at what they're doing offensively, Josh Jacobs is a really good running back. He's got a bright future in this league. Darren Waller is a star tight end. I thought Derek Carr really played well this year. I thought he took good care of the football. They've got some young receivers. They had some injuries along the offensive line. The biggest issue, in my opinion, is the play of the defense. And John Gruden made a change. He fired a defense coordinator, Paul Gunther, at the end of the season. He brought in Gus Bradley, who was the coordinator for the Chargers. They have history together from their time in Tampa Bay. Gus, a former head coach, obviously, with Jacksonville. I think he'll do a good job on that side of the ball. But they've got some young players on defense that need to grow up in a hurry. They have not played well on that side of the ball. Got a lot of former first-round picks over there that I just don't think have played up to their potential. And I think that's where you'll see the Raiders spend a lot of their resources, whether it's free agency, the draft. They've got to get better on defense. You can't keep giving up 35 points each week in this league and expect to be competitive.
And that'll be the challenge for John Gruden and Mike Mayock there as we near the NFL draft. But first things first, we're talking the Super Bowl. Rich, certainly appreciate it. Thanks for the time. Another great season on the NFL on CBS. Appreciate you spending a few minutes with us here on HQ.
Thanks, Tommy.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.